In this series of 8 videos, I will address 6 to 9 accusations, all of which are false. They primarily deal with matters of money during the summer of 2004, around the time of General Convention. Not only were these allegations spread at the General Convention, but they were endorsed and spread by brethren of high reputation. My ex was the main supplier of these accusations, but her cohorts were complicit in knowing or having the opportunity to know that the accusations were false, but they spread the lies anyway. The primary ones involved with this were Nanette Nikora, Shana Dutka, Vanetta Simon, Nancy Carey, and Boone Mora. Boone and Nanette are 2 people you will hear a lot about in my presentations. They were the chief accusers and encouragers of unethical, malicious, and destructive behavior by my ex. Additionally, Boone Mora provided my ex with tens of thousands of dollars so she could afford the legal fees needed for her malicious acts. Let me walk you through a timeline. After nearly 3 years and 2 marriage counselors, 2 things were very apparent. First, my ex refused to take responsibility for her lying behavior, and second, her behavior only got worse as she began lying to others about me. For a long time, I held out hope that my ex would realize that her lying behavior was destroying our marriage and reform. But that didn't happen. I concluded that the scriptures actually justified a divorce in a case like this. I also believed that unless I gave her a reason, she would have no justification to file against me. But her friends, especially Teresa Parkinson, encouraged the path of divorce rather than responsibility. Around October of 2003, a friend from Chicago asked me if I planned to divorce her. I told this friend that I had contemplated filing for divorce when our daughter turned 18, or in about 13 years. Evidently, that conversation led my ex to file for divorce herself. I tried for a month to see if, for the sake of our daughter, she would relent. Instead, she threatened that if I didn't grant her full custody, she would make sure I only got a few hours of supervised visitation per month. That threat terrified me, because I love my kid more than my own breath, and knew my ex was an exceptionally ruthless liar. In January, my attorney filed my response with a request for shared custody. Making good on her threat, my ex then filed a declaration with the court accusing me of dangerous behaviors in order to justify her demand for full custody. At the first court hearing, the judge restricted the time I could have with my child due to my ex's lies. To investigate my ex's accusations, the judge ordered what's called a 730 custody evaluation. That's where a psychologist researches the matter and then reports to the court. The cost for that evaluation was set at $6,000, and the judge ordered that it would be paid from mutual fund investments. But the only unencumbered money belonged to my ex, and she refused to use her money to pay for an evaluation needed to investigate her accusations. 2 months went by, and my ex still refused to pay the evaluator, despite calls from my attorney. Finally, my attorney convened a meeting where all of us discussed how to avoid the evaluation, but my ex still demanded custody. Nevertheless, we agreed to a new schedule that gave me a lot more ongoing time with my daughter, and gave my ex our daughter on the Saturday of the Parkinson-Goodman wedding. Another month passed, and by this time I had paid half the evaluator's bill myself with borrowed money. But my ex still refused to pay the evaluator the other half. This prompted an emergency court hearing to deal with the matter on July 13th. At the end of video 6, you'll be able to read the full transcript of that hearing. After some heated debate, the judge ordered that the custody evaluation fees would be paid out of money under my ex's control. The next day, when I got back from caring for my dad that night, I got an email from Michael Nikora. Michael fired me from helping at the General Convention, and he was disfellowshipping me. A few days later, my dad died, and a few days after his death, the General Convention began at Chapman University. On July 20th, I received a letter from my ex's attorney falsely accusing me of unlawfully using my financial licenses to steal money from my ex, and that now she could not pay for the custody evaluator. Once again, my ex found a way to delay the only path I had to clear in my name with the court. A couple days later, I learned that my own accounts had been locked up, and I could not pay my bills for several weeks pending an investigation. It was a nightmare and helped destroy what little credit I had left. I was being attacked, it seemed, on every side. The last thing I'll bring into the context is that in September, my ex filed a lengthy suit with the court, falsely accusing me of much of the foregoing. I realize this is a lot of detail, but I'm going to take you through each of these one at a time. You probably noted that at the center of the battle of these accusations was a custody battle. I will deal with that topic in another series. And I'm going to share with you some letters and emails from brethren that will actually leave you wondering about the very Christianity of certain people in the Bible students. It is the more compelling evidence I have against the Bible students, but it will wait for now. Here's a brief rundown of the videos in this series. In the next video, video A2, I will deal with the accusation that I absconded with $40,000 to $45,000, half of it belonging to my ex. In video A3, I'm going to deal with the accusation that I removed my ex's name from jointly owned accounts. Video A4 will talk about Nanette's claim that I tried to steal money from my ex by getting her to sign a particular form. Video A5 deals with the claim that I tried to run my ex out of money. Video A6 examined Michael Nakora's email to me. And then video A7 looks at 1 Timothy 5:8 and the claim by some that I was not caring for my own. Finally, video A8 are my conclusions and thoughts on the matter. Please proceed to video A2, where we will begin getting into the actual evidence. Thank you for watching.